Simpson's paradox refers to a phenomenon in data science where when you analyze data at the aggregate level, you see one pattern, but once you decompose that data, you actually see the opposite pattern emerge. All 8 points together suggest a negative relationship. However, once we segment by additional variable, let's say color, we can actually see there's two positive relationships for each of the groups individually. This is actually a really common phenomenon in the real world where data that doesn't get broken down sometimes leads to misleading conclusions. There's some very common examples of this. We can take a look at a simple example. Here we have a data set where we have customer gender, how long they've been our customer, and how much they spent in the past year. A simple question we might ask would be, what is the spend by gender? We can bring this in and we can create a bar chart where on the x-axis we have gender and on the y-axis we have the average spend. In this situation, we actually see that women spend on average $292 and on average men spend $258. So it seems like women are spending a little bit more. However, when we decompose this on the tenure dimension, just making a bunch of small charts for clarity, we can see that when tenure is 1 year, men spend 110 and women spend 73. And when we go all the way over to a 10-year tenure, we see that women spend 436 and men spend 470. In this simple example, what we have seen is that even though in the aggregate, men seem to spend less on average, this is actually a relationship that also relates to tenure, where longer tenured customers seem to be spending more, and there's actually just more longer tenured women than men. The practical implications here are actually ultimately up to the user. If we're just thinking about who are our better customers, maybe we would come to the conclusion that yes, women are spending a little bit more. But this should also lead me to think about, hey, like, why is it that there is a difference in the length of tenure between men and women? Maybe it's because we released the male products later in our company's lifespan, or maybe we're actually having trouble retaining male customers and we actually have to work on some things there. So just because there is a second variable doesn't make the first relationship completely false. What it just means is that we have to take the two in consideration together and actually reason through it from a very business analytics angle.